I'm going to tell you a story. It's a short story, but it's a complicated one. It's an important one. Am I finally going to reveal my big life story? Hey guys, how you doing? I'm Richard with Everlasting Gaming, and welcome back to Fare Thee Well. We're getting to know a stranger. Me and this wonderful girl in the green jacket have just pretty much gotten to know each other. We've had lots of drinks and spilled our life stories. We're pretty much brother and sister now. Excuse me. I got so excited I'm just burping with excitement. This game is getting really interesting. You know, she's had a tough childhood, just a tough life altogether. And so have we. You know, we have a secret we just haven't told her for some reason. We're here for a reason that we haven't revealed. And we know so much about her, but so little about us. I don't even think we've, exchanged names yet. So, I'm excited to see where this goes. You're excited to see where this goes. You wouldn't be here. Let's keep on going. Holy hell. You two have been sitting here and talking the whole night long. The bar's closing now. You're going to have to head on out. I'm sorry, sir. I hope we weren't a bother. You're fine, young lady. But you have this young man escort you home. You've had a long night. But I'm not drunk. I can speak perfectly fine. See? Yes, and it's unnerving, considering how much you've had to drink. The bartender turns to me and gives me a wise, slow nod. I'll get her home safe. The snow has finally stopped, leaving behind a sleepy town draped in white. The snow is thick, cold, soft like the stuff of dreams. Feels like the ground itself is sleeping, drifting in time and space, and frozen in winter silence. Dormant like a slumbering beast waiting to awaken in the snowmelt, its heart stilled by the seething cold. Like Emmeline and I are the only two people, waking people on the face of the entire earth. Emmeline grins at me smugly. My knight in shining armor, are you going to escort me home and protect me from all the evil monsters? Gotta love this majestic music, let the wonderful walk home begin. I'm so excited. I refuse to play into her game. Yes, I swear to always safeguard you from the eagles that plague the town of Cedar Maine. Sub-zero temperatures and poorly paved roads. They really are so poorly paved. Yes, I've noticed. Your motel is across the bridge, right? My castle is, yes. Right, let's go on ahead. And so we were off. Together we strolled in the cold, huddling close to each other for warmth. Thankfully, the walk wasn't too long. We talk all the way to Emmeline's hotel, despite having done nothing but for hours already at the bar. By the way, Emmeline. Yes? What is it? I was wondering if you knew what the meaning of that song you sang tonight was. The first one, that is. What? Loch Lomond? That's the one. It's Scottish, that's all I know. My mother taught it to me just like her mother taught it to her. She taught me a lot of the folk music I know, really. I was never as big into the heritage as she was. But to answer your question, no, I guess I don't know what it's about. I just sing the words. A folk singer who doesn't know what her songs are about? I like the songs. I love how they sound. I just don't know the traditional meanings behind each and every one of them. I suppose that's fair. But Loch Lomond, right? Isn't that about two people traveling down different roads? At surface value, yes. It all comes back to Scottish tradition. It is believed that when a Scot dies while abroad, their soul will walk the earth to return to the mother country, so that the deceased may rest in their homeland. The road that these two wandering spirits used to return to Scotland is called the Low Road, as mentioned in the song. The regular corporeal roads that living people like you and I use are the high roads. The high roads belong to the living, the low road to the dead. That belief is what the song centers around. That's a bit depressing, don't you think? Quite the contrary. Think about the lyrics, what the lyrics are saying. You sing from the perspective of a Scot who has died while traveling in a foreign land. You lament that although the passage of time has taken your friends and your lover away from you, you'll finally be able to attend your journey and return to your home, where you can finally rest in peace. I love how her expressions go from confused to happy to just angry. I don't know, that's still very depressing to me. I don't think so. I think it's bittersweet. The journey of the singer has come to an end, but now that it's over, they can return to where they belong. I don't know. Personally, I love the song. Sometimes I feel like I take solace in it. You find comfort in a song that tells you you're going to die? I do. We all die, and every death is an ending. But what the song tells me is this: when my time comes, it'll be when I have done all I can in my life. That's a beautiful way to look at it. I have found what I was searching for, and I have brought it home with me. It tells me that I'll be my end, not that I'll be struck like I am, unchanging, constantly moving, always searching. Ah, my dog's nipping at my foot. Give me 1 sec, you guys. This person I am right now is in constant flux, and the days of my life are numbered with a clear beginning and a faithful end. I don't see any problem in that. In fact, considering neither one of us has slept all night, some rest sounds like exactly what we need right now. Emmeline goes quiet, and she takes in everything I say. Yeah, I suppose you're right. We could both use some rest. You know, maybe not. Uh-oh. She doesn't want to sleep. Then what does she want? Just before we reach the motel, Emmeline stops me in my tracks. She points me off to the side of the path where a small park lies unlit in the snow. Hey! Something wrong? No. She's acting incredibly meek. Did I say something I shouldn't have? There's a cute little park here where I come to sit sometimes. It's on top of a big hill, and if you're seated on the benches, you can watch the sunrise and sunset from here. It's beautiful. I like to sit and watch the sunrise with you. Aw, that's so cute. If you'd want to do that. We've gotten so close so fast. It's either the alcohol talking or it's just, video game mechanics. She wants to watch the sunrise with me? Emmeline, it's late. We should really get you to your room. Emmeline points to the sky. It does look like the sun is about to rise. Violet and pink hues are starting to show in the sky, shining in faint ripples in between the clouds. See, we might as well stay just outside the whole night. She laughed softly. Looks like we just did anyway. She's right. It had completely gone unnoticed. But we really have spent the whole night together. A new day was about to dawn. I'd forgotten how quickly time could pass when you're with a certain kind of person. When you're with someone like Emmeline. You're right. Looks like we stayed up the whole night together. I chuckle. We are horribly irresponsible. Emmeline laughs more. Just a little bit. We find a bench overlooking the hillside. I love how they change the track for every new mood and thing that's happening. It's adorable. I wipe the snow off it with the sleeve of my coat, and we sit down close to each other for warmth. Emmeline pulls herself even closer to me, tugging at my arm. She leans her head on my shoulder and shuts her eyes. You don't mind, do you? I'm so tired. I think I'll rest my eyes for a while, until the sunrise starts. I'm just gone. It's fine. I think I'll do the same thing. Oh, that's cute. Although, they're in the middle of winter. They would freeze their little asses off. I close my eyes and rest my thoughts. It's been a wild night, and I'm so tired. Hey, Emmeline? Yeah? I'm going to tell you a story. It's a short story, but it's a complicated one. It's an important one. Am I finally going to reveal my big life story? I feel like we should have a drum roll. At the end of the story, you're going to have to decide what happened next. I want you to be completely honest with me when I ask you to do that. Yep, this is that moment, you guys. Get your popcorn. Go get your popcorn, get your snacks. This is going to be a big moment. Alright? Emmeline yawns. Alright. Alright. I hope I'm making the right choice here. Yep, this is it. How do I even begin to explain? Say in the world, there's a young man out there who's been given the gift of eternal youth. At first, the young man was amazed. He was filled with joy. He was forever young, forever handsome, and forever strong. That's what happens when you eat your vegetables, kids. Do it. Just kidding, I hated vegetables. You don't have to eat them. Screw those things. The passage of time had no effect on him. It didn't chip away at him like it did everyone else he knew. He spent some time loving this new life of his, until he realized that the gift he had given was in the end a curse. Eventually, the young man saw what the passage of time could really do. He saw all the people he cared about wither away, one by one. Family, friends, lovers, he could have done nothing but watch as each and every one of them fell into the grip of death from which he had been spared. He saw the places he knew as a child crumble into dust, forgotten, thrown away like false memories. First he lost his home, then his people, then his own way of life. He was forced to escape, to break out and enter into a new world where he did not belong. He felt lost in the new world, hopeless, alone, forgotten. Obviously that's us, and I'm surprised we don't have a name still. But eventually he got used to it. He realized there wasn't any point in wallowing in despair at the life he'd been given, and so he started to rebuild. He gave himself a new life, a new identity. But he lived knowing that there was only one thing he could never do. He could never stay in one place for too long. If he did, he knew he would build bonds. He would form memories with the new places he found and the new people he met. He would make friends, he would feel emotions all over again, all in their full intensity. And that was something he could not afford, because he knew any bond he built would come only crashing down upon him in the end. The more people he came to know, the more people whose departures would hurt him. The more time he spent in any one place in the world, the more pain he was damning himself to suffer when he was truly cursed. All he could do was run farther and farther and farther, as far as he could go infinitely. As long as time continued to pass, he suffered the life of a wanderer, destined to be alone. But one night he meets someone, and that someone makes him feel some way he had not felt before his journey ever began. Since his journey ever began. Someone special, someone like him, someone who understood him, who felt his pain, who knew how it felt to endure. He thinks he's found someone that could teach him how to love again. Wow, we're jumping to some big conclusions after what? Less than 24 hours? We're gonna have a baby, you guys! But he knows if he stays there with the person he's found, he'll only hurt them in the end. Because if he stays with that someone, they will age, and he will not. They will die, and he will not. And in his failure to die, he would rob them of their chance at a normal life. He would take their life at his own, and in the end, he would find himself all alone again. What does he do then? What choice does he make? Does he stay, or does he leave? Does he chase that chance at true emotion, even if he knows it will end in only despair? Tell me, what choice does he make? Oh, moment of truth, you guys. She's sleeping, isn't she? What choice does he make, Emily? What choice do I make? Okay, we either killed her from the shock of it all, or she's sleeping. Emmeline? I opened my eyes. I see the sun has begun to rise. To my side, Emmeline is fast asleep. She's asleep. Take a long final look at her. She's so beautiful. Her heartbeat pulses through her skin, through her dress, through her coat, through all the way to me. I can feel it drum steadily against me. I can feel it throb over and over again, full of such amazing life. I watch her, her breath freezing as it comes to the crisp cold air. Her skin is soft and warm to the touch. I really examine people in this game, man. I think of her and how she treated me. A stranger who hadn't even told her his name, with nothing but kindness. We don't even know his name. This is a real person beside me, with a real heart, pumping real blood. With real emotions and real thoughts, and the most beautiful voice I've ever heard in my life. This is Emmeline, and no matter how greatly I long to be with her, I cannot stay with her. She cannot stay with me. It was never meant to be. I stand up carefully, holding her still to make sure she doesn't wake up. Once I'm off the bench, I set her down to be as comfortable as I can make her. Thankfully, it's warming up, and I think she'll be awake soon after I leave. Just in case, I take off my coat and wrap it around her to make sure she's warm enough. I glance at the sunrise on the horizon. I can't bear to look at it too long. I turn back, gaze at her one last time. The girl in the green dress, sleeping on the park bench. If only things had been different. Then perhaps I could be happy once more. I begin to walk away. I want to know, how did he become immortal? What a sad life that would be. Can you imagine that? If your house and your things and your the people you love just withered away and you just had to deal with life and keep going. That's such a sad way to live. I stop myself from looking back. Emmeline, I'm sorry. Goodbye. I walk away into wilderness as the sun rises over the trees. I vanish like a ghost from a dream, wiping tears from my eyes. All I leave behind are footprints in the snow that are soon swept away by winter wind. June 13th, 1987. This is a whole year from then. June in Maine is still June. I should be accustomed to walking on baking asphalt by now. I travel light, always have. The weight I carry has nothing to do with what's in my pack. Heavy thoughts are always with me. Memories, constant companions on the road. So many roads, so many paths, so many years. So many lives, it seems. Feels like forever since I was last in Canada. I wonder if it will feel the same, raw and wild and seemingly untouched. Something tells me it was always that feel, no matter how much concrete and glass are poured and polished. I think that the memories can be that way too. As the years pass, the details subtly shift, but the feel seems to stay the same. Then again, we can choose to let certain memories fade, if those memories were allowed, of course. I am aware of my footfalls on the pavement, the undulating throne of the insects in the tall grass that parallels the road. I can feel the hot sun on my skin, the gentle harshness to the yellow light. A few clouds in the uniformly blue sky are static and wispy, as though painted onto a canvas. There is no breeze to add energy to my experience. The leaves are still like the clouds. I am literally passing through a long series of moments, unbroken by emotion. Except for me. I am the only thing moving. Does that mean that the world is a canvas, and I am little more than a thought passing through? My mind soars across the tapestry of my experiences, touching down on an eyrie of memory, then taking flight again in search of the next place of interest. The miles pass, the sounds and sun on the grass, and the trees blending into a nearly uniform background. It seems as though the only things truly moving me are my thoughts. The sensation of that notion intrigues me, distracts me for a while. Still, a new sound breaks the spell of forever. Time is suddenly back on the clock, and it's ticking. It is the sound of the large diesel engine of an 18-wheeler. I am ripped out of my reverie and the beautiful monotony of the road, finding myself jarringly present. The driver of a large red truck downshifts as he descends the slow grade, leveling off and closing the distance to me slowly. Black plums, palming briefly from the twin stacks behind the cab. Well, what the hell? Maybe he'll take a rider for a while. I turn and begin to walk backwards and stick my thumb in the air. A few short seconds pass, and the driver begins downshifting again. The engine braking, indicating to me that I am about to replace the throne of insects in the heat of the sun with the rhythm of an engine and the chill of air conditioning. Sounds amazing. The truck passes me slowly, coming to a halt just a few yards later. The hiss of the air brakes and the solid rattling thrum of the engine waiting for me. I walk up to the door as the window smoothly slides down. As I step on the running board with a hand on the mirror brace to render a greeting to who will be my traveling companion for God knows how long. Morning, sir. Where are you headed? I feel genuinely friendly as the two of us engage in that age-old mutual summing up that travelers have always done, leading to a gut instinct about trust. It takes more seconds for us both to decide. Levis, just south of Quebec City, running straight through Maine. He has an accent straight out of the American northern Midwest. He looks to be about 50 years old. I cannot imagine the last time I thought I was that old. How about you? As far as you'll take me, if that's alright, sir. Hop in, let's put some miles behind us then, buddy. I swing the heavy door wide and slide in, and set my pack on my feet before closing the window and belting myself in. I never thought about 18-wheelers having a new car smell, but this one did. It was obviously new to the road and very well maintained. Wow, this truck is beautiful. The trucker laughs and pets the large center console lovingly. She's not even 3 months old. We're still getting used to each other. The trucker is wearing a gray t-shirt and jeans and a ball cap with an American flag on the front. He has 2 faded green tattoos, one on each arm. His hair is cut a little on the short side, and he hasn't shaved in a couple days by the looks of it. I drove my last truck for almost 20 years, and she decided that she'd run her last mile. It still feels a little weird driving without her. The way the trucker spoke about his truck instantly felt familiar, and I found myself nodding and understanding. This new one, though, I think her and I are going to be together for the rest of my time on the road. So where do you call home? You're sitting in it. I've been living on the road and out of motels for years. Being gone so much was never a good fit for a home life, and besides, I have a bit of a wanderlust. I can relate. I bet you can, as far as you are from, well, anywhere. The trucker spoke with his smoothly shifted gears, a powerful truck pulling its load effortlessly. the vibrations of the huge engine, absorbed by surprisingly comfortable seats. The AC felt rejuvenating too. Have you guys ever been in disgusting summer and the AC is the best thing ever when you get in the car? It's so good. Yeah, I've been traveling for most of my life. First in the army, then when I got home from the war, I just couldn't sit still. Been on the road ever since. I tend to stick around a place for a while myself, then it just feels like it's time to go, I guess. Yep, I know what you mean, buddy. Once I got home from the war, I never felt like I fit in. No matter how much I wanted to. I didn't understand why, and figured I'd find what I was looking for on the road. And did you? To be honest, I'm not sure. But I did find happiness. That's what all the hippies were always talking about, so I guess at least I found something. I think there's a certain freedom to keep moving. Plenty of time to think, that's for sure. I drive, and when I feel like resting, I stop. As long as I stay on schedule, nobody pays me much money, and that's just fine with me. As the trucker shared a bit of his life with me, I watched the coiled cord for the CB radio set sway. Plenty of time to think. The trucker and I really do seem to have a lot in common. Sometimes I think I probably missed out on quite a bit of life, but to be honest, I I have family, and I keep up with them well enough. So I sort of let them live normal lives for me, if that makes any sense at all. I think it makes a lot of sense. I tried the normal life a few times, but I always end up back on the road in the end, waiting for the next stop. You gotta think about driving trucks. Seems like you're a good fit for it. Better than walking all the time, that's for sure. I've never considered it, to be honest, but I see your point. I'm not quite sure if the pace would feel quite right, though. Walking has such a familiar feel for me. Now, I'm not sure if it would like to change. Most people are creatures of habit. You can't deny that. In a way, being a drifter is a habit, too. I can't disagree. Although for me, it's as much a need as it is a habit. No matter how much I like a place, I just can't stay. Eventually, it's time to go, whether I like it or not. Some of us just aren't meant to be put down deep roots, buddy. The deeper the roots, the harder it is to tear yourself away when it's time to leave. I imagine you're right about that. I feel like we're falling in love here. Our conversation falls into a comfortable silence, the world passing by. My eyes move to the distance ahead, taking in the slow approach of forests and roadside meadows, and following the minor gradual turns as the road makes its way northward. Looking out of the side window and focusing a little closer reveals how fast we really are going. Trees are more of a blur, the details outside more elusive and difficult to focus on. About perspective, really. Looking forward to the future, things seem further away, moving more slowly. You can take your time to consider it, to think about where you might be going. Looking around at where you are in the moment, it feels much more fleeting. The pace is quicker. It can be difficult to fully notice all the details before things change. The past, however, is always there, frozen in memory. You have the rest of your life to think about it, reflect upon it. In my case, there's plenty of time to think about the past. Too much time, actually. Yeah, no shit, that sucks. I wish I had the luxury of living in the moments with an inspector of the future, always looming in the background, always knowing that no matter what, I always have to leave. People living their lives so often seem to be able to appreciate things in the moment, so long as they slow down a bit, building memories at their natural pace. For them, there is a beginning and an end. The middle part is life. I would like to take my time for once. Many people say they feel rushed. I feel the opposite. I feel an inexorable expiration of each period of normal. They have a finite amount of life and can live normally within that time they are given, whereas I, with nothing but time, struggle. Perspective. It affects the way we live. The passing of time, I think, does too. No matter what happens, I always end up gradually losing sync with everyone around me. Relationships, friends, coworkers. Every time I find a good place, a good thing, the clock starts ticking. The longer I stay, the louder the ticking, and the more out of sync I become, and the deeper my roots could reach. Eventually, I must move on. I rip myself out of that life, tearing others into doing, leave that normalcy behind forever, as well as the emotional wreckage shared with people who will never understand why. I know deep down inside that it's best to avoid making meaningful connections, because I will have to move on, and I hate myself for making anyone share that pain. They don't deserve it. But once in a while, a connection just happens. I wish that I could enjoy that simple human experience without the inevitability that shadows would what should be something beautiful, something simple and warm. Always a damn shadow. Always. I am lost in thought, traveling through time in my own head, when an all too familiar name, a name that I have been desperately trying not to think about, demands that its presence be known. Emmeline. I speak it out loud, not realizing that the trucker might hear it over the sound of the engine. Eveline, huh? Is she why you've been lost outside that window for the past hour? We've been rambling for an hour. Her half-smile is simultaneously knowing and wry. I exhale an empty laugh. I wonder if he isn't right about that. Trucker lets the moment sit for a few seconds, and then cocks an eyebrow. It's funny, as much as I love my old truck, I never gave her a name. Some truckers do, the sentimental ones anyway. I wonder why I never named her. First I thought that he had dropped his interest in Emmeline's name in my contemplation, but as the trucker spoke, I realized he wasn't delving into his fellow traveler's life. He was sharing the journey. I was closer to that old truck than I was with anyone. I do admit that I had plenty of conversations with her, though. All the time, actually. She was a pretty good listener, that's for sure. But it's funny. In the war, my buddies and I stopped using first names. We came up with nicknames, things like that. It seemed at the time we were all just close, you know? But I wonder if maybe it was something else. Maybe if it was a way for us to not get too close, after all. Makes me wonder, you know? I think on that for a minute. The girl in the green dress captivated me. She unassumingly commanded my attention. There was something about her that just drew me in, captivated me. When I learned her name, it became personal, intensely personal. We shared such a connection. And then I had to go. I had no choice. I cared too much for her to put her through what would have to come, what always has to come. I cared for her. It only took one night, and a name. I think you may just be onto something there, sir. We both spend the next few hours in total silence, except for a brief stop for fuel, roadside coffee, and a bathroom break. Two travelers sharing a journey. It was a good day. The sun was beginning to show the age of the day. The trees were beginning to cast shadows over the road, and the roadsides were beginning to reflect the golden sunlight so characteristic of long summer days. Cedar, 30 miles. Damn it. I shifted in my seat and watched the sign as it approached with increasing speed, my eyes following as it passed by. Cedar, Maine. That's one of those towns that you'll miss if you blink too long. You look like you recognize it. I sigh and nod. Watch me just see, Emmeline just, dead on the road or something. You know, that coffee sure is running through me. I think we'll try not to blink when we get to Cedar, so I can enjoy the last civilized bathroom for hours. Cedar. Damn it. Took no time at all to get there. Not enough time to think. Not enough time to talk myself out of the decision, fighting to make its way to the surface of my mind. The truck comes to a gradual stop at a gravel pull-off. Heavy tires crunching, air brakes squealing, engine slowing to an idle. Everything slowing down. The trucker sets the brakes and cuts the engine off. A shudder through the big vehicle, implying a little more than a brief stop. He lifts the door latch and half opens the door, one foot reaching for the running board. It'll be a little bit, so feel free to stretch your legs. There's a hint of something in his voice, almost a knowing tone. This guy really is intuitive for having spent so much time alone on the road. Goes with the territory, I suppose. I'll see you in a bit, buddy. There's a hint of wry, crooked smile on the trucker's face. I'm certain he knows that I'm connected to Cedar, and that's because of Emmeline. Or maybe not. The trucker's boots grind into the gravel as he heads off, leaving me to choose which fork in the road to take. I woke up this morning expecting to walk all day, possibly more. Then the truck lumbered along, and for a while, I rode with another traveler in my thoughts. It was interesting that despite the seemingly randomness of today, I still wound up in Cedar. Exactly where my thoughts were leading me, apparently. To stay or go. While I consider what I should do, I shoulder my pack. I shut the heavy door of the big red machine as I recall the layout of the little town quietly waiting before me. As I try to decide what to do, I begin walking along the single-made road through Cedar. The trees are thick here, providing ample shade, interspersed with patches of waning sunlight. I pass the general store on the right. I need to make a choice. I look up and see the path to the bench that overlooks the sunrays. It hits me. Did I ever really have a choice today? My path was leading me back to Cedar, one way or another. The road, the truck, my thoughts, all of it led to Cedar. I veer left, cross the road, and step onto the old wooden stairs to the hearth and home. The steps have a reassuring organic feel to them, oddly rustic and welcoming. I can feel warmth radiating from the sun-soaked bricks. I think I'm going to give this a shot. It's almost as though fate led me here, and on some instinctive level, I get the feeling that I was heading here all along. My hand closes around the old, wrought iron handle as the sound of the truck's engine passes by, followed by the bellow of an air horn. As the trucker continues on his own path, the surrounding forest swallows up the roar of the engine, and as suddenly as they were there, they are gone again. There is magic to this place. I open the door and step into the cool darkness. The fading light from the outside momentarily illuminates the room, and the bartender looks up to greet his first customer of the day. My eyes take a second to adjust. There is no doubt. This place hasn't really changed. It just looks brighter. The present and the past crash together and are surprisingly, nearly, indistinguishable. The bartender is a bit of an exception, though. His hair is gray and his face more lines than when we last met. He's gotten older. He sets a glass down behind the old polished dark wood bar. There's a look of growing recognition in his voice, but that same look is clouded by doubt. Afternoon, what can I get you? A beer will be fine, thank you. You got it. The bartender, smoothly and deftly, fills the glass and sets it down in front of me as a plain white napkin, making brief eye contact that somehow conveys the notion that he has decided upon something. So just passing through again. I look up from my beer and look at him. There's a small smile and a knowing look in his eyes. His memory is excellent. What do I say? I was thinking that maybe this time I'll stay a bit longer. Was nicer, that's for sure. You know, I never forget a face. Then again, normally those faces age a little in 20 years. How are you? It's a long story. I believe that. You know, I've counted every day since that winter night. Why have you returned? Surely you wouldn't have come back after 2 entire decades just to have a drink at my bar. I'm not entirely sure, to tell you the truth. Wow, it's been that long. Gentle silence fills the air between us as he hands me the beer. I take a sip, clearing my throat. Not sure if you were able to help me, but I have a favor to ask. Shoot. Last time I happened my way into this bar, do you remember the charming girl in green? Her voice was enchanting. Excuse me, the emotion is getting to me. One of a kind, really. Whatever happened to her? Emmeline? Well, luck should have it, she still lives here in Cedar. Actually, she still comes to help out from time to time, here at the dusty old place. My eyes light up at the very, very good news. She's still here, even after all this time. I can hardly believe it. I feel like she's gonna resent us super hard. Yeah, she lives right down the road, with her husband and young boy. Oh, we lost our chance. The heartbreak. I feel crushed. I'm not sure what I was expecting. Really, but it hurts nonetheless. The bartender must have caught on as he continues. Does that change anything? I assume you had something in mind. While it should, it doesn't really. I'm not entirely sure what I would have done anyhow. Would it be wrong of me to ask of an address? While I would give it to you regardless, it's not necessary. She comes by every morning with his son to help set up for the day. You should come again tomorrow, as I assume you are planning to stay for a while. Yeah, I'll be here. Thanks. Really, it means a lot. Don't mention it. Anything for an old friend. With that, I sip my beer and think of the coming events. The fear that she won't recognize me once again crosses my mind, but I push it off in search of a bed to lay my head. I nod to the bartender and make my way to the local motel to rest up for the night. Alright, you guys, well, we bonded, we got to know each other. She learned a little about me even though she slept through it, and now we lost our chance. That's so sad. See, that's why, for those of you who are looking for someone or dating, if you have a chance at something special, go for it. You only have one life to live, man. Just have fun. You never know who you'll meet. Hey, this is a beautiful story. I'm curious to see how this all ends. The fact that he's immortal makes this that much sadder. And how everyone is aging and we're getting to experience, like, the repercussions of that. It's crazy. The consequences of being immortal, it's just so sad to see. But I'm enjoying this. I hope you guys are enjoying this. I want to know, what do you guys think? Do you guys think he lost his chance? Do you think he should try anyway? Just go for it and see what she does. We still haven't even exchanged names, but what the heck? Who cares? I would say you only live once, but not for this guy. He's alive forever. Alright, you guys. Hey, it's been fun. We always have fun. I'm Richard with Everlasting Gaming, and as always, have a good night.